NBA, dominating the court with godly talent unlocked. Episode 86, We are the champions. Glory Point Harvest. We did it, we really did it. All the members of the Celestial Dynasty men's basketball team hugged each other and cried with joy. They spent countless efforts for today's game. They ran to Enmu and reached out one by one to pull Enmu up from the floor. Xiao Mu, you are today's hero. Hu Weidong said in a deep voice, your performance in the last moments allowed the Celestial Empire team to win this game. Without your hard work, there would be no Olympic gold medal today. Now, I officially transfer the position of men's basketball captain to you, and I hope you can take the men's basketball team further in the future. Hearing that Hu Weidong wanted to hand over the captain of the men's basketball team to Enmu, no one questioned it. In fact, from the opening match of the group stage, Enmu is the most core existence in the team. Without Enmu, it would be a problem for the Celestial Empire to qualify for the group stage at the Olympics this year, not to mention winning 5 consecutive group stage wins and 3 consecutive I2 wins in the knockout round. In the past, the captain of the Celestial Empire men's basketball team valued age, and it was generally held by the big brother who was about 30 years old. But when it came to Enmu, everyone recognized Enmu's strength. Everyone also feels that Enmu can take on the responsibility of being the captain of the men's basketball team. Off the field, Enmu will help his teammates train. He also spends time studying the course of the game, and in tactical meetings, he brings up the weaknesses he sees as his opponent. On the field, Enmu has become the fixed sea god needle of the Celestial Empire team, the Haotian god hammer. If there is no Enmu, there will be big problems in the attack and defense of the Celestial Empire team. When Enmu led the Celestial Dynasty men's basketball team all the way to the finals, Hu Weidong had already decided to give Enmu the position of captain of the men's basketball team. When I saw Enmu cut 24 points in a row at the last moment, the position of the captain of the MU men's basketball team was already a certainty. He's 19 years old, so what? He has not played basketball in the country, so what if he does not belong to the so-called system? Can these things top a gold medal? A gold medal in the men's basketball team has a significance as heavy as Mount Tai. Moreover, Enmu is still young, and his future is still limitless. In the next 2000, Enmu's age will only be 23 years old. What kind of strength will Enmu be at that time? At that time, Enmu, when facing the Dream 4 team, what kind of situation will it be? All this gave the 11 men's basketball players on the scene unlimited expectations. After Enmu heard Hu Weidong's words, he did not have the slightest pretentiousness. He nodded and said, if you trust me, I will be the captain of this men's basketball team. If I want me to be in the men's basketball team for one day, I will take on the responsibility of the 25th captain of this men's basketball team. After speaking, Enmu took a step forward and stretched out his fist towards the middle. Now, it's not time to talk about the captain of the men's basketball team. What we have to do is celebrate. Everyone, don't forget, we are champions. We managed to win the gold medal in the men's basketball final at the 1996 Olympic Games. After hearing Enmu's words, all the members of the Celestial Empire men's basketball team gathered around and extended their fists to the middle position. We are champion. We are champions. We are champions. Gong Luming looked at the players there celebrating with relief and excitement. He wiped the corners of his eyes. Gong Luming served as the point guard of the men's national basketball team in the 1988 Olympic Games. In the 1988 Olympics, he saw Sabonis lead the team to eliminate the United States. On that day, looking at the players of the former Su Lian who were celebrating carnivally, Gong Luming had a strong envy in his heart. At that time, Gong Luming thought in his heart, if it was us who defeated the American team, it would be great if we could have such achievements. Gong Luming at that time would never have imagined that it would be 8 years later today. In the Olympic final 8 years later, the Celestial Dynasty men's basketball team he coached eliminated the Dream 3rd team, which was stronger than the 1988 American men's basketball team. The Celestial Dynasty men's basketball team successfully won the gold medal of the men's basketball team at the 1996 Olympic Games. Once as a player, Gong Luming did not succeed in getting the full card. But now, as a manager, he has won a gold medal. Gong Luming knew in his heart that if it were not for Enmu, then the best ending of this year's Celestial Empire would only be the appearance of the group stage. With Enmu, the Celestial Empire men's basketball team has unlimited possibilities. Only then did he have the feat of beating the Dream 3 team twice, winning 5 consecutive games in the group stage, and winning 3 consecutive games in the knockout round. Laoan, you sent you and me a treasure. Gong Luming still can't forget the back of Enwegwa who left after sending Enmu to the men's basketball training base that day. At this time, he also had a picture of playing with Enwegwa in middle school. Originally, I was going to drink with you after returning to China. After Gong Luming finished speaking, he turned his head to look at the scene of his game, and a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth, but you have come to the United States, then invite you to drink some foreign wine in the United States. In a sense, this is also our trophy. After returning to China, my brother, I will invite your brother to drink Matai. When the players of the Celestial Empire were celebrating, and Weigua and Lu Yayun looked at each other, and Lu Yayun's eyes were still a little red at this time. When she saw Enmu fall directly to the floor after the full game just now, her heart was dripping with blood. Seeing Enmu now celebrating with her teammates with a smile on her face, she also left tears of excitement. As a father, Enweigua did not show his feelings like Enmu's mother. But being clenched into the corners of Enweigua's clothes can be seen how excited he is. The two came to the sidelines to watch Enmu quietly, and after Gong Luming said hello, the security guard did not stop them. After Enmu and his teammates finished celebrating, they glanced at the sidelines. Suddenly I saw two familiar figures. Mom and Dad, why are you here? Enmu dragged his tired body to the sidelines and asked his parents. Enweigua said, after the visa 2 days ago, I came. Lu Yayun said with a smile, in order to see your final, your father has worked a lot. Your agent has also made a lot of efforts, as well as your Uncle Gong. They hide it from you, mainly to surprise you. Enweigua patted Enmu's chest. Grown up. Lu Yayun continued, don't look at your father so calm now. He was more excited than me when he watched the game just now. Ahem. Comrade Laoan coughed a few times and signaled his wife not to reveal her shortcomings. Xiao Mu, you go back and celebrate with your teammates first. We're waiting for you on the sidelines. And Mu nodded and said, you second elder wait first, I'll be back immediately. After the game, Elijuan walked up to Enmu. The two-time FMVP lost, but did not lose. And, you played a wonderful game. I lost this game to my heart's content. You are a very talented player. I am amazed by your potential. Welcome, take to the NBA stage with a gold medal. But when I get to the NBA stage, I will still compete with you when I meet you. Don't forget, the best center in the league is still me. In the NBA, if you want to be the #1 center, then beat me in the playoffs. NBA games are different from the Olympics, and the 82 games in the regular season are full of variables, and the playoff format of 5 games and 3 wins and 7 games and 4 wins will also make the game full of possibilities. The NBA arena is full of more competition and changes than the FIBA arena. Are you ready? When Enmu heard this, he still smiled easily. I said, if I can defeat you once, I can defeat you twice by myself. This is already the 2nd time I've beaten you. When I see you again next time, I will beat you for the 3rd and 4th time. Hakeem, I want more than just the first center position. What I want is the position of the first man in the NBA. Pippin walked to Enmu's side. And, if you want to be the first person, you have to ask the bull if you agree. I also have to ask, the king of the official piece promises to agree. Michael will not tolerate others shaking the throne of his first man. Enmu glanced at Pippin and then at Elijuan. I'll beat you first, then Jordan. At this time, Jordan, who was far away in Chicago, was also watching the game with his hands. When he saw that the Dream 3 team was losing, MJ smiled disdainfully. A bunch of rice buckets. Can't even get a rookie? Wine bags and rice bags. You have lost the honor of the Dream Team. The Dream Team has ruled the world basketball for less than 4 years, and the throne has been kicked over? Huh. MJ lit a cigar. This rookie, it's kind of interesting. I'm looking forward to meeting you in the NBA. This guy is so tough. Bryant gasped in the spectator stands. When Enmu frantically cut down 24 points, Kobe Bryant was already shocked and unable to speak. When the game was over, Kobe only spat out these words. Nash nodded and said, this is Enmu. This is the Celestial Empire champion, he always surprises you a lot. Kobe shook his head and said, it's not a surprise, it's a shock, but no matter what, he beat the Dream 3 team with an all-star team. It seems that I am the only one who can stop the Celestial Empire team from winning 2 consecutive gold medals. I decided that at the 2000 Olympics, I would join the Dream 4 team and stop and from continuing to win the gold medal. Huh. Nash interrupted Kobe Bryant, brother, it's better to think of a more realistic problem, the 2000 Olympics? For me, it's still possible. Because we have very few good basketball players in Grenada, but for you. At that time, did you have the strength to be the strongest quarterback in the league? Are you eligible to be selected? After hearing Nash's blow, Bryant was silent. But he's an optimist, for more years. In the past 4 years, I will definitely train well. strive to be the strongest quarterback. In 4 years, I must be part of the American Dream Team. Nash continued to hit Kobe Bryant. I think instead of wanting to be a member of the Dream Team, you should set a small goal first. Like, how do you become a starter for the Lakers? Nash's words silenced Kobe again. After all, he is not even a starter for the Lakers now, so how can he hope to join the Dream Team? Cut, don't hit me here. You can't be a starter for the Clippers. Bryant began to fight back against Nash. Nash said leisurely, but I can become a player in the Ghana national team. On the field. The award ceremony is ready. On the extended podium, all 12 players of the Celestial Empire appeared. Soon after, the gold medal was carried around the necks of the 12 players of the Celestial Empire. And this year, the players of the American team, who only won the silver medal, shrunk their heads to their necks. For them, the silver medal means shame. Now, they have to be photographed with silver medals. This made them feel a great shame. MU. This name will remain in the hearts of the 12 Dream Team players on the scene for a long time. Similarly, all the fans at the scene will firmly remember this name. Firmly remember that at the Atlanta Olympics, it was MU who led the team to defeat the Dream Team. The country that won the bronze medal this year was the Lee Pottery Bowl. In the 3rd and 4th place matches, the Lee Tao Bowl defeated Nansara to win the bronze medal in 1996. For them, it's good to get the bronze medal. After all, the United States, which has a dream team participating this year, only won the silver medal. The flag of the Celestial Empire was also slowly raised on the flagpole. It slowly surpassed the flag of the Standing Pottery Bowl and slowly exceeded the flag of the United States. Finally, reached the flagpole. Then the March of the Volunteers was played. The national anthem of the Celestial Empire resounded all over the world. In the team, many people are soldiers, and at the moment of the national anthem, they stand up straight and salute at the national flag. Everyone else is also staring at the raised national flag with their most sincere eyes. After the national anthem was played, the Celestial Dynasty players walked off the podium. At this time, the media rushed towards the members of the Celestial Empire like a tide. And Mu, who originally wanted to talk to his parents, could only be forced to answer their questions at this time. 10 minutes later, the interview was complete. And Mu, as the best player in today's game, also has to go to the post-match press conference. Mom and Dad, you go back to the hotel first, I'll look for you later. It was already 11 o'clock at night, and Mu couldn't bear to let his parents stay up late at this time. Do you think we can fall asleep when we go back? Lu Yayan pushed in Mu's body, hurry up and be interviewed. When I get home, I can show off with the neighbors again. My son defeated Midi in the World Series and won the gold medal. My son has also appeared on TV around the world for interviews. My son is a hero. The second elder did not want to leave, and Enmu did not force them. This night is important to me. It is equally important to Enmu's parents. Then I'll go to the press conference first. Enmu greeted Kobe and Nash and the spectators. Let's go back to Los Angeles first. After hearing Enmu's words, the two looked at each other, and Chi rolled his eyes at Enmu. Depend on. And, you're a little unauthentic. We came across the country to see you, and your words after the game were to let us go back to Los Angeles? Enmu was in a good mood today, and after seeing the small emotions of the two, he smiled and said, You have crossed the entire United States to see me, but my parents have crossed the entire earth to see me. I've been with you longer than I've been with my parents. I definitely won't have time to play with you in the next few days. You go back first, and when I go back to Los Angeles, let you eat for a week. After hearing Enmu's promise, the two nodded in unison. That's it. In fact, as long as you can rub rice, you can say anything. After talking to the two, Enmu also made a phone gesture towards Li Jiaxing, who was looking at the distance. Then he waved at Guo Jingjing again. Fortunately, the fans who support the Celestial Empire have not left the stadium now. Enmu's action did not make the two notice, they both thought that Enmu was greeting the fans. Back in the dressing room, pack your clothes, and go to the bathroom to take a shower. Now Enmu's whole body is sore and weak. The increase in the zone state completely overdrew Enmu's physical strength. In the next few days, Enmu will definitely not be able to do any strenuous exercise. After taking a shower, Enmu pulled on his slippers and limped out of the dressing room to the conference room for an interview. Guo Jingjing relied on her identity as an athlete to blend into the players' channel. Squatting at the door of the Celestial Empire dressing room waited for Enmu. Brother Mu, what's wrong with you? Seeing Enmu limping and walking, Guo Jingjing asked worriedly, Are you injured? Enmu waved his hand. It's okay, normal. It's to the field, my feet hurt and my legs are sore, so it's good to rest and rest. Guo Jingjing walked to Enmu's side and prepared to hold Enmu. But Enmu wrapped his head with his big hands. You little girl, how tall are you to hold me? I'm fine, not to the point where I can't walk. Guo Jingjing stuck out her tongue. You go back first, I have to go to the press conference now. I have to go to accompany my parents later, and I don't have time to play with you. After hearing Enmu's words, Guo Jingjing lowered her head and replied sullenly, oh. Enmu patted her little head again, I'll go to you tomorrow at the closing ceremony. Guo Jingjing immediately smiled, then I'll wait for you. Watching Guo Jingjing leave, Enmu also went to the press conference. Today, Enmu, who cut 60 points, 21 rebounds, and 13 blocks, has obviously become the protagonist of the scene. 60 points, breaking the Olympic scoring record. From the group stage, to the knockout round, to the final. Enmu averaged 16.6 rebounds per game and also became the Olympic single-time total rebounding and rebounding average king. In terms of blocking, Enmu's average data in these games is an astonishing 10.8 times. It is also the Olympic Games single edition total cap and average cover king. Score, rebound, block, attack, defend. Enmu's all-inclusive playing style has achieved the most exciting competition in this Olympic Games. After the interview, Enmu was ready to pick up his parents. At the same time, he was expecting one thing. How many glory points can you get if you achieve such an achievement? Opening the phone, Enmu saw a text message from Li Jiasun. Anze, when will you come to my room for milk tea? This, in Enmu's view, is tantamount to being quite white. Episode 87, Destroy the Soul one night, earn tens of millions. Business empire plan. Originally, I planned to have a good in-depth communication with Xin after the game. But the arrival of the parents disrupted all plans. In the next few days, I will definitely accompany the second elder, and it will be difficult to get out. Xin, I'm sorry, my parents came to see my game today. I can't get away. Li, I saw that your father is very handsome, and your mother is also very beautiful. RN, otherwise, how could you have a son like me? After seeing Enmu's text message, Li Jiasun showed a smile on her face. His appearance is not bad, and Enmu's appearance is even more star-like. So in the future, what about the children of the two of us? With a smile on his lips, Li Jiaxi sent a text message again. You accompany your uncles and aunts first. You haven't seen each other for a long time, so I won't bother you. I'll fly back to Hong Kong Island tomorrow, and after some time after filming, I'll come to the United States to find you again. At that time, if you don't come to my room to drink milk tea, I will be angry. Phew. Seeing Li Jiasun's words, Enmu exhaled a cloudy breath. Edit a text message and send it again. Come to my house, I will not only make milk tea, but also make a lot of things. After seeing the text message sent by Enmu, Li Jiasun's face flew a wisp of red. This guy is really indecent. Look down and text, I'll wait. Ding dong. Enmu looked down and smiled after seeing Li Jiasun sending a text message. Then he put his phone away and returned to the court with his backpack on his back. Parents are still sitting in the front spectator seats, waiting for themselves. At this time, Su Jiqing, a reporter from CCTV5, was still interviewing his parents with a microphone. Su Jiqing is the ace reporter of CCTV5. Together with Zhang Weiping, he is known as the current CCTV5 sets of location partners. Many of the location interviews of CCTV5 were completed by Su Jiqing and Zhang Weiping. However, this year Zhang Weiping was left in China to end the competition. It was Su Jiqing who was sent to the United States to conduct an interview. Seeing Enmu coming, Su Jiqing greeted Enmu. When Enmu was interviewed on the sidelines just now, it was Su Jiqing's interview with him. It's just that he didn't expect that after the game, he would stay here to interview his parents. Hello, reporter Su. Enmu nodded. Su Jiqing saw Enmu coming, and he also knew that Enmu and they were preparing to leave. He put the microphone away. The last time I went to San Antonio with Wei Ping to interview All-Stars, the two of us saw your masterpiece at the San Antonio Wild Stadium together. Haha, at that time, I thought you could soar into the sky, but I didn't expect to be able to take our men's basketball team to win the gold medal one after half a year. You're amazing. You two are also godsons. After Su Jiqing finished speaking, he was ready to leave. Don't disturb your family reunion. Enmu, the next time Wei Ping gives you an exclusive interview, I will also follow, and we will see you next time. After speaking, Su Jiqing waved goodbye. Enmu also left the arena with his parents. After leaving the arena, watch the night in Atlanta. Enmu said, Mom and Dad, which hotel are you staying in? And Weiguo pointed to a hotel next to the arena. Right here, close to the arena. Bill Duffy booked us here. You agent, it's really good. And Weiguo gave Bill Duffy an affirmation. For Bill Duffy's personality, and Moo is very relieved. After all, in the brokerage industry, if you don't serve your employer well, you will definitely not find any employer in the future. Moreover, Moo is now a big card in the hands of Bill Duffy. How could he not bother with Moo's parents? A family of 3 walking down the streets of Atlanta, next to the ones who had just passed. Looking at Moo's tall figure, these fans have nothing but regret in their hearts, but admiration. Unfortunately, the Dream 3 team did not continue the gold medal. I admire that Moo was able to win the game by himself. After walking to the hotel, Moo went to open another room. Mom and Dad, rest first, I'll take you around Atlanta tomorrow, and then go to Los Angeles. Lu Yayun cocked her toes and touched her son's head distressedly. Kamaki, rest well. When I watched the game, I was tired and lying directly on the floor. I've heard that athletes are very hurtful, and some of them will accumulate diseases from overwork. You are still young, don't accumulate illness at this time. Moo walked to the elevator, and after the elevator, he said, don't worry, I will take care of my body. After getting to their respective rooms, they took their parents back to their rooms. After Moo arrived at his room, he lay directly on the bed, and fell into a deep sleep without taking off his shoes. This sleep, I slept unusually deeply. Nothing from the outside world bothered Moo. When Moo opened his eyes again, he felt not a relaxation, but a more intense soreness than yesterday. Entering the zone once is 10 times more uncomfortable than playing iron in the gym. Shoo. Moo gasped and prepared to get up. As a result, I felt a sore abs again. Rolled over and propped his hands off the bed. Feeling the soreness in my arm, I barely got up. I slept this night and didn't take off my clothes. Go to the sidelines and open the curtains. Moo was stunned for a moment. Because this is not the scene he imagined. Even if the sun shouldn't be in the east, it should be overhead. How did this particular sun run to the west? Moo glanced up at his watch. It's 3 p.m. In other words, Moo slept for 14 hours this night. This zone is open, and the price is a bit big. This night's sleep, Jinama lost her soul. The soul is almost gone to sleep. Pushed open the door and knocked on my parents' door. Lu Yayun opened the door. Woke up? Lu Yayun looked at Moo distressedly. After 14 hours of sleep, it was enough to see how tired my son was. Overslept, and you don't call me. I also said to take you to Atlanta. Moo smiled apologetically. You better rest. Lu Yayun led Moo into the room and pointed to the steak on the table. Eat quickly, I've heated the kitchen several times. Moo felt a gurgling in his stomach at this time. Go to the table and eat it. Mom, call more, not enough to eat. Moo said while eating. Lu Yayun nodded and made another call. She is a university teacher, and she is fluent in English and can easily communicate with the front desk. Moo chatted with her parents while eating. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Moo got up and said, the closing ceremony is about to start, and I still have to go to the closing ceremony. You two are aggrieved again, you shouldn't be able to go out to play today. I'll take you with me until tomorrow. After arranging his parents, Moo went out to take a taxi to the main venue of the Olympic Games. The venue for the men's basketball game is the home of the Eagles, but the main venue of the Olympic Games is not the home of the Eagles, but the Olympic Sports Center Stadium, 10 kilometers from the home of the Eagles. In the taxi, Moo was not idle. Consciousness is immersed in the system, ready to check the rewards after the end of the game. An Olympic gold medal. A single game scoring record of 60 points. And the youngest XXX, rebounds, blocks, and other scattered records. Moo only knew that he must have made a lot of money in this wave. Enter the system. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing his career achievement, Olympic full medals, bonus glory points, 500 points. Ding, congratulations to the host for achieving a single 60-point career achievement in the Olympic Games, bonus glory points, 300 points. Ding, congratulations to the host for achieving the remaining achievements, bonus item, top-level cushioning technology, 800 glory points, and a top-notch cushioning technology? After redeeming Wild Tyrannosaurus, before, there are 50 glory points left. Now Moo has 850 glory points, and at the same time has a top-notch cushioning technology. Top cushioning technology. This technology comes very coincidentally. For this time, Bill Duffy has been urging Moo to sign with Nike or Adidas. But due to the events experienced in his previous life, Moo did not plan to sign a contract with some foreign companies. Now, this top-of-the-line cushioning technology has come at just the right time. For a pair of sneakers, the most important thing is cushioning technology. The reason why Nike has been popular for so many years is mainly due to his air cushioning technology at the sports end. If Enmu holds an air cushion cushioning technology, he can set up a company by himself. Speak for others, it's better to be your own boss. Use top-of-the-line cushioning technology. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the Bing cushioning technology formula. Li Ning's 4-Thunder technology. The input method cannot type Chinese characters. Bing technology can be said to be a technology that allows Li Ning to start a turnaround battle. This technology can already compete with the BOSST of the later Adidas. It's time to put the opening of the factory on the agenda. Enmu thought inwardly. Now I still have 850 glory points in my hand, and I can exchange it for a skill. The remaining 350 glory points can be exchanged to see if there are any other items that can be exchanged, or saved for the next time you can collect 500 glory points to exchange skills. Soon, the main venue of the Olympic Games had arrived. Enmu paid the money to show the athletes' eyes, and went from the athletes' special passage to the place where the Celestial Empire team was. Come, Kamaki, go change your clothes. At the closing ceremony, the uniform of all sports teams in the Celestial Empire must be changed. Taking the clothes handed over by Gong Xiaobin, Enmu found a dressing room to change and then went to the diving team to chat with Guo Jingjing. Afterwards, the closing ceremony officially began. After the closing ceremony, this Olympic Games will be over. Jingjing, you go back to China first. After the closing ceremony, Enmu said to Guo Jingjing. Guo Jingjing definitely can't stay in the United States now, and the coach of the diving team will definitely not agree. Guo Jing said reluctantly, Brother Mu, will you return to China? And Mu thought for a while, before the start of the season I should go back again. Now he already has a cushioning technology in his hands, and the matter of the shoe factory must also be put on the agenda. Therefore, after a while, you need to return to China to consider setting up a factory. Setting up a factory in the United States is simply not practical. In the 90s, the United States has developed to a very high level. High-tech industries are the keynote of the United States. The road to manufacturing has become narrower and narrower. Labor costs, raw materials, and other aspects are very expensive. Enmu is only a rookie now, and he simply cannot afford the cost of opening a factory. Originally, playing well can keep the money safe. If you want to build your own business empire, there are too many things to do. Enmu thought in his heart. However, in this life, you must not do nothing. Sports athletes are just eating a youth meal. If you want to play takeoff, you still have to create your own business empire. This is not a life in vain. This is an interesting challenge for the traverser. If you want to start a business, you definitely need startup capital. Emu's contract for the first year is 3 million. Immediately after paying the tax, it shrank by 45%, leaving only 1.65 million. And not all of them can be extracted. If you communicate well with the management, you can probably get about 1 million. If you sign various endorsement contracts, you can gather about 500,000 knives in a short time. 1.5 million. 1.5 million in the 90s is already a huge amount. But for Enmu, who wants to create a business empire, there are some less. After saying goodbye to Guo Jingjing, Enmu took the car back to the hotel again. On the way back to the hotel, Enmu rummaged for a while for the black basket system. Item, future trend of the stock market. Quality, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Glory point, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. Note, the first time you redeem an item, you will enjoy a discount of 10%, one-fold. Enmu now has 350 glory points in his hand to use. So, future trend of the stock market, he can use a discount to exchange for a 1-day trend forecast. US stocks are different from A shares. If it is a trend forecast for A shares, the top increase will be 10%. But there is no limit to the rise of US stocks. With this trend prediction, it is no problem for Enmu to double the funds in his hands several times. Without any thought, Enmu immediately exchanged this item. This future trend is completely to send him money. I opened the system, searched for a while, and finally found a skill. The right to shoot later, Kikichi Tepe. In addition to the Miracle Generation 5, in Black Basket, there is also an existence, called the Uncrowned 5. Among these people, Kikichi Tepe ranked first in strength, and he was one of the few beings who could compete with the generation members of the Miracle. Having the physique of a center and the passing skills of a point guard is the best organizational forward. The right to strike later is the embodiment of Muji Tieping's ability. Exchange. Without any hesitation, Enmu directly exchanged the right to strike later. The same shooting moves, even began to draw the wrist, in exchange for other people, cannot think and make changes at all. However, with the right to shoot later skill, Enmu can firmly control the basketball in his hands at the moment of shooting, and at the same time observe the status of his teammates on the court. Depending on the conditions on the pitch, choose between passing or attacking. This skill may make me a white chocolate in the center position. A smile appeared at the corner of Enmu's mouth. And it's white chocolate with lower turnovers. Or, rather, when Enmu exchanged this skill, it is very likely that the nickname of Sabonis, Air Architect, was stripped by Enmu. Because, Enmu will become the most competitive opponent to challenge Sabonis for the first position of the world's basketball player. The taxi stopped in front of the hotel, and Enmu got out of the car and walked into the hotel. This trip spent 600 glory points, got a day's future trend of the stock market, and the right to shoot later, and also obtained a cushioning technology. After the Olympics, all the noise has dissipated. Enmu took his parents to play in Atlanta for 2 days. Then he took the second elder back to Los Angeles for a few days. By August 25, Enmu was going to send his parents home. Luoyang University is about to start. The leave granted by my father's unit is also running out. And Enmu also has to return to China with Bill Duffy to look for the choice of shoe factory. Bill Duffy initially did not agree to Enmu's factory. But the employer is God, and he can only carry out Enmu's decisions. During this time, Enmu also used a day's stock market trend forecast. After spending 1 million knives in advance from the Lakers, signing various endorsements, and scraping together 1.5 million knives, he killed a 7-in-7 out in the stock market. There is no limit on the rise of US stocks, and you can trade on the same day of trading, making Enmu's operation very simple. 1.5 million knives doubled in one day and became 300,000 knives. Converted into the currency of the Celestial Empire, Enmu earned more than 10 million a day. With the funds of 3 million meters in hand, the next thing is much simpler. Some people say that this book is watery, but the author feels that it has always been okay. Various plot plans are also included in the outline. I think I've been writing competition books to be the real water donkey. Daily interactions, as well as business matters, should also be written. If you write about the game all the time, it becomes a complete running account. What I want to do more is show everyone all the aspects of an NBA player. Of course, the focus will still be on the competition, daily life and business knowledge is just a seasoning, otherwise everyone will be bored watching and abandon the book. The author also has to support his family, and he will not die by himself and drive away the readers. I hope you can continue to support. If you have any ideas, you can also leave a message in the book review. Episode 88. The Road to the Rise of Gao Yuanyuan, Acquisition Completed, First Step of Business Empire. The plane landed at Kyoto International Airport. After getting off the plane, Enmu did not go home with his parents. Mom and Dad, go home first, I still have friends in Kyoto. Luoyang asked, are they those teammates of the national team? Hearing this, Enmu nodded and said, yes, I made an appointment with them to get together after returning to China. After all, I didn't return to China after winning the gold medal, and we haven't eaten the celebration banquet in the team. Lip service says so, but in fact, not many people on the Celestial Empire national team played in Kyoto. So Enmu couldn't find a few even if he wanted to find them. And Enwegwa took the suitcase from Enmu's hand and said, then the two of us will go home first. There are still a lot of things waiting for us to deal with. Don't play too crazy when you eat with them. Enmu smiled and said, don't worry, I know it in my heart. After saying goodbye to his parents, Enmu said to Bill Duffy again, Bill, you go to the south to find a shoe factory first. When I find the right shoe factory, I'll go through the law. Hearing the boss's words, Bill Duffy nodded and said, don't worry, and I will help you find the right manufacturer. For his employer, Bill Duffy did not dare to have any deception. Don't look at this guy is only 19 years old, but this guy's two eyes are completely, you can see people's hearts. As Nash told him, Enmu studied psychology. But is this ability to observe people's minds at the level that only a freshman can achieve? Duffy has also seen some well-known psychologists, because of the pressure of work. He felt that Enmu could even surpass those psychiatrists sometimes. Not only that, Enmu is also very smart in business. As Enmu's agent, Bill Duffy can control the change of Enmu's bank account information. When he got up one morning, he saw a letter from the bank. Enmu's account doubled in an instant. Bill Duffy almost thought that Enmu had gone to rob the bank. Later, I asked once and learned that Enmu doubled his ability in the stock market in one day. And that's not all. When Nike, Adidas, Converse, Puma, and other big sports brands signed with Enmu with the most expensive contract in history. At that time, Bill Duffy went to Enmu's house excitedly, and when he wanted to discuss with Enmu how to choose a manufacturer, he was rejected by Enmu. Enmu's sentence, it is better to speak for others than to be controlled by yourself. It still makes Bill Duffy remember it vividly. In the end, Bill Duffy knew that Enmu's future could never be just an NBA player. In order to let Bill Duffy do his best to work for himself, Enmu plans to be the same as Yao Ming. Let Bill Duffy form a team of safety for himself. Through this team, we can achieve all-round business expansion. Such a plan will greatly benefit all the people on this team. Bill Duffy's current source of revenue comes entirely from taking a cut from a player's contract. However, wait until Team Anji is completely formed. The completion of the player's contract will only be a small source of income for Bill Duffy. Bill Duffy was fully aware that this was his own opportunity to advance. If you dedicate yourself to working for Enmu, then you will not just be a broker in the future. He will have a broader future. Now, the biggest player under him is Enmu. In the future, he will achieve social class advancement, and the thigh he wants to hold is also Enmu. Enmu is the god of Bill Duffy. Bill Duffy didn't stop at all after getting Enmu's request. I flew to Guangdong province again. Enmu, on the other hand, stayed in Kyoto. At this time, many pedestrians had already recognized Enmu. Enmu did not stay at the airport for a short time. 937, walked quickly to the airport gate and called a taxi. After getting in the car, I dialed the landline of the Gaoyuan Yuanjia. Hey, brother Mu. You finally called me. On the other side of the phone, came Gaoyuan Yuan's happy voice. Enmu smiled and said, yes, I'm in Kyoto. Didn't you say last time that you wanted to take me around Kyoto? Are you free now? After hearing Enmu's words, Gaoyuan Yuan on the other side of the phone nodded repeatedly. Of course I'm free. You come downstairs to my house first? I'm waiting for you downstairs at my house. After the two made an agreement, Enmu hung up the phone. Yo, you're Enmu, right? The taxi master glanced at Enmu in the rearview mirror and immediately recognized the identity of the guest he was carrying. In the next hour or so, the taxi master expressed his endless admiration for Enmu to the fullest. In the end, when Enmu got out of the car, he insisted on collecting a waiver for Enmu. After rejecting the driver's enthusiasm, Enmu left the money on the seat. I put on my sunglasses and walked downstairs to Gaoyuan Yuan's house. At this time, Gaoyuan Yuan was also waiting for Enmu in the shade. Brother Mu, you're here. Enmu reached out and rubbed Gaoyuan Yuan's hair. Here it comes. Today you will fulfill your landlordly friendship. Gaoyuan Yuan nodded and said, don't worry, that's for sure. The two chatted as they walked. Gaoyuan Yuan said, Brother Mu, I met a talent scout a few days ago. This scout recommended me to shoot commercials, saying that I had the temperament of a star. I wrote to you about this, but it probably hasn't been sent to your home yet. Enmu has an understanding of this matter. In the last life, Gaoyuan Yuan was famous by shooting S. Her most famous is the for mouth-clearing lozenges. After that, he gradually entered the entertainment industry. After I finish the commercial, I have the money to buy a phone. I can still buy a plane ticket to the United States to find you during the holidays. After speaking, Gaoyuan Yuan laughed happily. Brother Mu, people are good for you. I've watched every game of your Olympics, but I still can't suppress my thoughts about you. Enmu looked at the tall buildings around him. Yuan, where are you going to take me to play today? There are so many places. Kyoto is so big, it's impossible for you to play in one day. Brother Mu, how many days are you staying in Kyoto this time? I don't really hear about it, maybe a week or so. Bill Duffy wanted to find a shoe factory, and he had to investigate from all aspects. Under normal circumstances, a month is not necessarily enough, let alone a week. However, before Bill Duffy went, Enmu gave names to several shoe factories. The key point is to let him go to see these shoe factories: Anta, Peak, Hongqing Buick, 361 degrees, Sanqing, Step. These are the brands that can become international sneaker manufacturers in future generations. Now it may be a little difficult, and it is just the need for funds to tide it over. Hearing that Enmu was going to be in Kyoto for a week, Takin jumped happily. Yay! Why, Brother Mu, you are so good. Gaoyuan Yuan suddenly winked mysteriously at Enmu. You bow your head. Enmu bowed his head as she said, huh. The next moment, two lip prints appeared on Enmu's face. After Gaoyuan Yuan kissed Enmu, Tang Ye's face turned red. Enmu smiled and continued to walk forward with Gaoyuan Yuan. While walking, Gaoyuan Yuan suddenly slowly reached out and caught Enmu's arm. Enmu looked down at Gaoyuan Yuan. At this time, Gaoyuan Yuan grabbed Enmu's arm and did not let go, and walked forward with his head down. Be careful, there are poles in front. Enmu suddenly said to Gaoyuan Yuan. Ah, Gaoyuan Yuan shouted, and quickly looked up. It turned out to be nothing. Only then did she know that she was being tricked by Enmu. Brother Mu, you are bad. Enmu scratched the bridge of her smooth nose. When you walk, keep your head up. Got it. For the next few days, Yasumi and Takinan spent all the time in Kyoto. On the other side, Bill Duffy is struggling to conduct the examination of various manufacturers, piece by family, one after another. Finally, on September 3rd, Bill Duffy found a qualified shoe factory. Boss, found it. Now, the way Bill Duffy shouted "Enmu" has changed from Enmuzen before participating in the draft to the current boss. After receiving the call from Bill Duffy, Enmu also knew that his trip to Kyoto was coming to an end. I looked at the high garden next to me. Yuan, I'm going to talk about work tomorrow. After hearing Enmu's words, Gao Yuan bowed his head in frustration. Oh. Although in the past few days, Gao Yuan has been with Enmu. But she felt that the time the two of them spent together was always so short. Now Enmu is leaving again, and I don't know when the next time I see you again. Brother Mu, I don't want you. Speaking, Gao Yuan suddenly hugged Enmu. Enmu's broad figure made Gao Yuan feel safe that he had never felt before. Now it's even more reluctant to let go. I'll leave tomorrow, let's have fun today. If you have free time during the holidays, you can come to Los Angeles and find me. I'll reimburse you for the ticket money. Gao Yuan shook his head, don't. I'm going to earn my own money to see you. Good. Enmu is looking forward to whether Gao Yuan will rise in this life and the previous life. The next day, Enmu flew to boudoir. Boss. Outside the airport, Bill Duffy was waiting for Enmu. At the same time, there was a young man by his side, as well as the translator that Duffy carried with him. Bill Duffy saw Enmu coming over and introduced Enmu. This is the son of Anta's boss. After seeing Enmu's figure, Ding Shizhong's eyes instantly widened. He looked at Bill Duffy and asked, Mr. Duffy, is this the boss you were talking about? Bill Duffy nodded, yes, this is my boss, Enmu. The young man stretched out his hand and shook Enmu's hand. Hello, I'm Ding Shizhong. Enmu reached out and shook hands with the young man. Sorry, my father went to the province the other day, so he didn't come to pick up the plane. The horror in Ding Shizhong's eyes at this time had not disappeared. He knew who the person in front of him who was younger than his age was. At this time, it was not a month before the end of the Olympic Games. Now domestic sports fans are talking about it, but it is not what Bing Bing Ball has won any championships. Instead, the Celestial Dynasty men's basketball team turned Lao Mi's end under the throne of the world champion. He successfully won the only gold medal in the history of the Celestial Empire men's basketball team. At the same time, Enmu is also well known to sports fans across the country. Ding Shizhong never expected that the boss that Bill Duffy had hung on before turned out to be Enmu. He knew that Enmu had a great possibility of solving the problem of public ITY. Several people got into a business van. In the business car, Bill Duffy briefly told Enmu about Anta's sleepy state now. Sales channels are scarce, goods are backlogged, brand power is insufficient, funds are short, and workers' wages cannot be paid, resulting in shoe factories have begun to shut down. This is the most common problem encountered in almost all manufacturing industries. The solution is also very simple, it is money. If the money is smashed enough, there will be sales channels. If the money is smashed enough, advertising will be done, and the brand power will be there. If enough money is smashed, wages can be paid normally, and factory production can return to normal. Of the several companies that Enmu gave to Bill Duffy, only Anta is now facing great difficulties. If it can't be solved, it runs the risk of going out of business. Among the companies that Enmu gave to Bill Duffy, Anta was the youngest. Several other companies were founded in the 80s. Anta was developed in the years from 1991 to 1994. Compared to other brands, they faced too many difficulties. Ding Shizhong's father went to other provinces and could not come to pick up the plane, which was to solve the problem of sales channels. When Ding Shizhong called Ding Heimu and told him that there was a chance to solve the problem of funds, Ding Heimu immediately asked Ding Shizhong to receive him well. After an inspection of Anta, Bill Duffy was very satisfied with Anta's machines and the scale of the plant. After hearing about Anta's plight, he said that his boss had the ability to solve the current problem. Ding Shizhong thought that Bill's boss yesterday was a foreigner. The appearance of Enmu instantly shocked Ding Shizhong. The boss of Bill Duffy turned out to be a native of the Celestial Empire, and he was a well-known athlete of the Celestial Empire. After the 1996 Olympic Games, anyone who pays attention to sports events knows Enmu's name. Because even though a month has passed since the Olympic Games, CCTV 5 sets will still broadcast the wonderful performance of the men's basketball team in the Olympic Games every day. The name Enmu has appeared on TV countless times. Are you going to invest in our company? Ding Shizhong asked cautiously. Enmu had started a business in his previous life and knew the skills of negotiation. Let's wait until your father comes back, it's not appropriate to talk to you about this. After hearing Enmu's words, Ding Shizhong thought deeply. He is only 25 years old. Although he has been in the business for many years, Ding Shizhong knows. For now, he is at the same level as Bill Duffy. And Enmu's level is the same as his own father, Ding Enmu. Enmu's aura instantly calmed Ding Shizhong. Don't worry, I'll call my father and ask him to hurry back. After sending Enmu to the hotel, Ding Shizhong assured Enmu one after another. After watching Enmu walk into the hotel, Ding Shizhong exhaled slightly. At the age of 20, he followed his father to start a shoe factory, but when facing Enmu, I felt that my aura had been suppressed all the time. This young man, who is only 19 years old, puts a lot of pressure on 25-year-old Ding Shizhong. Is this really 19? Ding Shizhong sat in his seat and frowned and thought. Enmu's temperament is very complicated. He has the precipitation of his previous life. In his previous life, Enmu had started a business in college, and he had already achieved a small success before crossing over. In this life, Enmu played ball, and with all the self-confidence temperament of an athlete, as well as the domineering, champion temperament that has just been blessed by winning the gold medal. Of course, the main thing is that Boston now holds 2 tens of thousands of soft sister coins. After Ding Hemu received his son's notice, he rushed back to Gonggong from other provinces the next day. The next day, talks between the two sides immediately began. At the negotiating table, Ding Hemu looked at Enmu, who was only 19 years old, and was as shocked as his son. Is this 19-year-old? When Ding Shizhong was 19 years old, he still fought with the neighbor's boy every day. And Enmu, who is already a world champion, has begun to work on business matters. Own son, this is to live to the dog. Enmu's temperament did not make Ding Enmu dare to have half a point of contempt at all. Enmu can completely crush him, both in terms of financial resources and status. In terms of financial resources, Anta is now about to go bankrupt. In terms of identity, Enmu is a world champion and a national hero. How to go and Enmu by? Bosson, how are you planning to help us get through this? Ding Enmu asked kindly. Your company, I plan to acquire. Enmu only said this sentence, followed by the exchange between Bilda and Ding Enmu. Everything in the business world is integrated. Bill Duffy and Ding Enmu, so to speak, are two old foxes who constantly clash at the negotiating table. Ding and Kimoto were reluctant to sell the company because they just needed a sum of their own. It only takes about 5 million to bring them back to life. But Bill Duffy followed suit. He constantly threw out various advantages, so that Ding Enmu occupied a proper disadvantage in the negotiations. Enmu's advantages are too many to count. At this time, governments and times everywhere are vigorously supporting entrepreneurship. Anta is now like any other company, without any advantages. If Anta can add this relationship of Enmu, there will undoubtedly be a very big struggle in policy. Subsequently, it was Enmu's fame. After Enmu became Anta's boss, Anta didn't have to do any advertising. Because Enmu is a living. Isn't the product endorsed by the world champion louder than the name of other brands? Li Ning has proven this. Li Ning Company, which was only established in 1990, became a sponsor of the Olympic team in only 2 years. The logo of the appearance clothes worn by Enmu this year is Li Ning. Why is a company that has only been around for 2 years so strong? It is because they have Li Ning, the prince of gymnastics. According to the current development route of Anta, there may not be a way to live. Even if he has a way to live, Ding Enmu cannot predict what Anta will develop into in the future. Perhaps, when Anta survives the past and current difficulties, it can develop into a company with tens of thousands of assets. However, if Enmu accepts Anta, Anta has the opportunity to do bigger and stronger. Hundreds of millions of assets are not a problem. These are just the tip of the iceberg, and Bill Duffy fully played his lip service and talked with Ding Enmu for 2 hours. Dad, the workers are asking for wages again. Suddenly, Ding Shizhong said such a sentence in Ding Hemu's ear. After hearing these words, Ding Enmu all breathed out. Anta's philosophy is to start a business with peace of mind and be down to earth to delay workers' wages, and he can't do it. And now Anta has not paid a salary for 3 months. This became the last straw that broke Ding Enmu times. He looked at Enmu and Bill Duffy. Okay, I promise you. Enmu, who had closed his eyes for 2 hours, opened his eyes at this moment. Enmu, who had not changed his expression during the whole negotiation, stretched out his hand to Ding Hemu with a smile at this time and said, "Happy cooperation, Mr. En, you have great prospects for the future." Ding Hemu said. Enmu smiled and said, "Old man Xie Jian." After hearing the old man, the mouth and Hugh sighed even more in their hearts. Before he agreed, Enmu hadn't done this to him. "Mr. Ding, we will take your land, plant, machinery, and even the backlog of goods. I have asked someone to calculate in recent days, and the final transaction price is 8 million. Hearing the 8 million bags, the Ding family father and son did not object. Because now Anta is really worth so much money. After you get this money, what are you going to do? And Mu suddenly asked. Ding Heimu smiled, keep crossing, I'm not old yet, I can fight for another 10 years. And Mu looked at Anta's conference room and said, let's continue to manage the company. 8 million will still be given to you, and then 8% of the shares will be given to you, and dividends will start in 5 years. After hearing In Mu's words, the father and son of the Ding family looked at each other. This. Ding Heimu hesitated. And Mu continued, you guys are doing very well, you can make the company to this scale in a few years, and your ability is very strong. It's just because of funding and access problems that it has led to the current situation. When I arrive, everything will improve. I believe that Anta's future will be even better. This company also has your hard work, and you are familiar with the company's management, why not stay? I've already said about the treatment, it's not a disadvantage to you, right? Ding Heimu said, let me think about it, and Mu nodded. He pointed to the contract again, let's sign this acquisition contract first. If you don't answer me by 12 noon tomorrow, then what I said before doesn't count. After hearing In Mu's words, Ding Heimu sighed again. This is really watertight. Just gave yourself time to think about whether to continue to manage the company. Not giving himself the slightest time to think about the acquisition is to make it clear that he will not regret it. This young man. Business acumen is awesome. After taking the contract, handing it to the lawyer to see, there was no problem, Ding Heimu signed it directly. After signing, Ding Heimu said, I promise you to stay at Anta. And Mu nodded and continued to signal Bill Duffy to take out the contract. It's already ready, let's sign it together. After Ding Heimu and Ding Shizhong saw the contract, they looked at each other. No one could hide the horror in their hearts. Because they know that their father and son are clearly calculated by a 19-year-old young man. First it was acquired, and then it was left to father and son. Every step of the way, this young man walked unusually steadily. Every step seems to have been thought about by In Mu. At each step, they sighed as they entered In Mu's trap, and Ding and Mu continued to sign. The original boss Ding has now become a labor manager. After he finished signing, In Mu looked at the Anta logo above the wall of the conference room. Anta, now surnamed In. Don't say, it's actually quite compatible with my surname. Manager Ding, your 8 million will be given to you soon. I will also inject 8 million yuan into the company's books. Next, let me see what you're capable of. Ding Heimu nodded and said, don't worry, now that we have money and you, the world champion, everything will go very smoothly. If you need to shoot in 2 days, I will contact the TV station and put the on. After the aired, there was no problem with the backlog. After acquiring Anta, Anmi returned to the hotel. This trip spent 16 million and also gave 8% of Anta's shares. But in the future, there will definitely be even greater benefits. The 8% stake given to the Ding family father and son is actually not much. Because Bosson knows that in the future, Anta's profit income will only be a small part of all his income. Manufacturing is the foundation. High-tech is the future. Episode 89, Nash and Kobe's Rage. And Mu's historical special training instructor. Walking out of Anta's conference room, Bill Duffy followed Amu's side. Boss, after finishing the Anta thing, are you going back to Los Angeles? Duffy asked. And Mu nodded and said, hurry up and finish these things, I still have to go back to Los Angeles ISO to train. Kobe and Steve are 2 guys, but they're there every day, training D. I can't be left behind by them. Bill Duffy said with a smile, boss, I think you can hang the hammer with other rookies in the same class even if you don't train. And Mu turned his head to glance at Bill Duffy and said seriously, Bill, my target is not only the other rookies in the same class as the Hammers, my target is all the players in the Hammers NBA. After hearing In Mu's words, Bill Duffy was shocked again in his heart. Your own boss will have a very clear difference from the rest of the NBA. Now the rest of the NBA, at the age of 19, is thinking about how to improve their skills, how to survive in this league, and how to squander after getting their first salary. But In Mu began to lay out his business plan early on. And set himself his sights on hanging all other NBA players. Boss, this Christmas, Santa Clara University has an alumni association, are you ready to go? Duffy asked suddenly. Christmas? I should have been fighting a Christmas war, right? Now that the NBA schedule is out, and Mu has also roughly seen the arrangements for the Christmas game. This year's Christmas battle, there are only 2 games. Bull vs. Pistons. Los Angeles Lakers vs. Los Angeles Clippers. The feud between the Bull and the Piston has been around for a long time. However, since Isaiah Thomas, Lambier and others retired, the Pistons have been in a period of decline. But in the years since Jordan retired, the Pistons have sprung up after selecting Grant Hill. So, the Bulls vs Pistons hype is the historical feud between the two teams, and newcomer Grant Hill challenging the old god Michael Jordan. At the same time, Jordan is from North Carolina, and Grant Hill is from Duke, which is also a very good gimmick. Another Lakers vs Clippers same-city derby Christmas game is even more eye-catching. The Clippers have a Payton plus O'Neal combination. The Lakers have Nmu, who just won the gold medal, and Magic John news after his comeback. This Christmas war, the hype is the same-city derby. And the feud between Nmu and the Clippers, two leading stars. O'Neal, let's not say it. San Antonio was blown up by Nmu, making him suffer an unknown number of taunts. There are also the Olympics, in which both Payton and O'Neal participated. O'Neal was detained by Nmu and withdrew from the hospital, and the Dream Third team was also defeated by Nmu. This grudge is almost equal to that of the Bulls and Pistons. This year's fans are very eager to see the results of this Christmas battle, as Nmu's agent, Bill Duffy naturally knows Nmu's schedule plan. He said, "Don't worry, the Alumni Association of Santa Clara University is scheduled for the afternoon of the 26th, when we can rush over. Go to the Alumni Association, the boss will have a better chance of rolling out your business plan. Then I'll go to participate." Nmu replied, then remembered something and asked, "You should have been invited too, right?" Duffy smiled and said, "If I hadn't signed you, I wouldn't have been invited. After signing you, I am eligible to be invited to the Alumni Association." Nmu suddenly patted Bill Duffy on the shoulder. "Keep fighting, senior. In the future, you will be the most successful of Santa Clara University alumni." Bill Duffy opened the door of Antac Company for Nmu and said, "Good junior." Bill Duffy is not just Nmu's agent. At the same time, he is also Nmu's senior. He also spent time at Santa Clara University, where he was a member of the varsity team. He is even the team scoring champion of Santa Clara University. He later participated in the 1982 NBA draft and was selected for gold in the 5th round. After being selected, the Nuggets did not choose to sign with Bill Duffy. So Duffy had to find another way to become an NBA agent. One of the reasons Nmu and Nash chose Duffy as their agent this year is that Bill Duffy was once a student at Santa Clara University. Walking out of the Anta gate, Nmu looked back at Anta's facade again. "Bill, do you know what I expect from Anta?" Bill Duffy had a full understanding of his boss and immediately said, "Dry up Nike, catch up with Audi." Nmu gave a thumbs up. "Those who know me, Bill Duffy also." In the next few days, Nmu took off the company with the injection of funds. First of all, the wages of the company's workers were paid. Then a team was found to shoot with Nmu. The relationship was found by the leader of the local TV station and was broadcast on the TV station. When sports fans learned that Nmu had become the spokesperson of Anta, they immediately began to spend frantically. Who said there was no fan economy in this era? At the very least, Anta's accumulated inventory is decreasing day by day. Now domestic clothing is much the same. Everyone buys clothes first of all, the price, and then the brand. Anta's price has never disappointed since the 90s. Nmu, who has traveled from the future, knows a netizen's evaluation of Anta this brother, can deal with. There was no brand power before, but now there is Nmu to bring goods, and the brand power has also come up. Nmu then struck while the iron was hot and accepted an exclusive interview with CCTV 5 Sets. In the interview, the whole body is Anta. This is equivalent to making another for Anta. Later, Nmu was discussing with Ding Haemu about signing his shoes. Signature shoes will be the first shot of Anta to the national market. So that's a top priority. Nmu first asked Ding Haemu to apply for a patent for the technology of Bing cushioning. Subsequently, a sneaker design drawing was exchanged for 100 glory points in the system. This design drawing optimizes all aspects. It perfectly meets the top and most gorgeous products that Anta can make now. It also comes with a t-shirt, jacket, shorts, trousers, and backpack design drawings. After all, this is 100 glory points. Nmu defeated the United States and obtained the youngest triple-double record and only received a reward of 100 glory points. Therefore, Nmu is not just exchanging sneaker designs. More comprehensively, it should be called Nmu Series Design Drawing. After Anta has sold out the current backlog, it is time to make the Nmu series. After doing everything, it was already September 12th. Nmu left Bill Duffy at Anta, and then flew back to Los Angeles by himself. This time back in Los Angeles, it's time for formal training. When the plane landed, it was exactly 3 o'clock in the afternoon. After Nmu returned home, he looked at the time, 4:30. It was time for dinner, picked up the phone, and dialed Kobe and Nash's numbers. Kobe, you bring some vegetables, I have high-grade steak here, and now there is a shortage of vegetables. Steve, you bring some meat. I have a lot of fresh vegetables here, and if you go with meat, it will definitely be very good. After instructing the two, Mu lay on the sofa and turned on the TV. Tune into ESPN, which is now broadcasting the outlook for the new season. Come to the king of the Battle of the Flow to do the blessing of the king. Also as a host in this show. 3 commentators, including Mike Bryn, looked ahead to the start of the NBA's new season. Among them, everyone has always believed that the Bulls will be even better in the new season. The rest of the teams are still ranked the same as last season. When the show got to the topic of which team is going to come out of nowhere, the 3 commentators instantly disagreed. The other 2 commentators believe that the Clippers, who signed Payton and O'Neal this year, will strongly lead the team to the top 3 in the West. And Mike Bryn is not optimistic about the Clippers, because he feels that the more potential should be the Lakers. Until Kobe and Nash came to Mu's house, the argument continued and the two pushed Mu's door open. Nash put the meat in his hand in front of Mu's eyes, and, "This is the meat you want, what about your fresh vegetables?" And Mu pointed to the shopping bag in Kobe's hand. "Isn't this in Kobe's hand? How fresh. It must have just been bought from the supermarket, right?" Kobe put the shopping bag in his hand in front of Mu's eyes, and, "This is the fresh vegetable I bought, what about the high-end steak you said?" And Mu pointed to Nash's shopping bag. "Isn't this here? Steve's taste is still very high, and I believe that there must be high-class steak in the meat he buys." Together, the two threw their shopping bags on the table. "Kobe, when I went grocery shopping just now, I happened to see Steve and saw Steve buying meat in the meat area, and I seemed to guess." Nash, "When I went to buy meat just now, Kobe Bryant suddenly walked up to me and greeted me the moment I saw him, it seemed, and understood." The two looked at Mu at the same time, unexpectedly. "You really did this?" And Mu continued to watch the TV, and said, "Of course, I just came back, the refrigerator at home has been empty for half a month, you can't let me drag my tired body to buy vegetables again, right?" Nash, "But your house is only 500 meters from the supermarket." And Mu, 500 meters is also very tiring." Nash, "Kobe, co-author, you are in the Empty Gloves White Wolf." And Mu nodded. You said you didn't eat, right? If you don't eat, the gate is over there. But you all brought the ingredients, and it's not good to take them away. People go, ingredients stay." Nash, "Kobe?" Nash stared at Mu's handsome face and said, "And, I haven't seen you for a few days, why are you so thick-skinned?" Kobe had the urge to hack Mu to death. "Are you kidding us? If you don't do anything yourself, we'll buy you all the food. When you don't even give water to drink at your house, you have to pick someone away?" Nash, "In the words of your celestial empire, this is called unloading and killing donkeys." And Mu stood up and reached out to bring the ingredients to the kitchen. "If you want to eat, obediently go to the sofa and watch TV. It will be good for a while." When the two heard this, they obediently sat on the sofa and watched TV. Although this person is very doggy, his belly is the most important. Besides, they bought these ingredients themselves, why go? Sitting on the couch, Kobe and Nash wondered. "Why, we buy the ingredients, but we are in a passive situation." And Mu, "This is called soft rice and hard eating. When Nash and Kobe came here, it was called hard rice and soft food?" The two people who were extremely depressed could only watch TV. ESPN is still playing on TV. When Kobe saw that the guests and hosts were arguing about who was the boss of Los Angeles between the Lakers and the Clippers, Kobe turned to Nash and said, "Steve, after the season starts, we will absolutely beat you." Nash smiled, "I don't care anyway, I'm just a substitute who doesn't average more than 10 minutes per game. If you want to say that, go to Payton or O'Neal." Nash is a little shrimp on the Clippers. It simply doesn't play a role in determining the Clippers' standings. The real predators of the Clippers are Payton and O'Neal. After speaking, Nash seemed to think of something again, and he looked at Kobe and said sarcastically, "It seems that your draft pick is lower than mine, and you will also play as a substitute in your rookie season. I guess you can't play more than 10 minutes. Kobe gritted his teeth and found that what Nash said seemed to be true. Patting Kobe on the shoulder, Nash tuned the channel to a variety channel. "Kobe, such a lofty thing as the team's record should be considered by MU. We should be substitutes, just sit on the sidelines and wave towels, manage the water dispenser, and shout 666. After spending more than a year with Mu, Nash's mouth would pop out of his mouth from time to time with some future words. Half an hour later, Mu had already made dinner. After putting the 3 dishes on the table, Mu walked to the wine cabinet and took out a bottle of red wine. "My treasured red wine, a limited edition from a good friend, for you to taste." Nash stared blankly at the red wine in Mu's hand. "And, if I'm not mistaken, it seems like you gave it to me, right?" And Mu nodded and said, "Yes, a good friend as you." Nash, "What about the limited edition?" Although this wine is more expensive, it is not limited, and moo, because I drank this bottle left in my wine cabinet, it belongs to the limited edition. Nash. Bryant. No matter, this guy is a little too shameless. Head down, dry rice. The three of them chatted while eating. Bryant and Nash have been training with the Magic since the offseason. The effect is still very good. Magic is also the #1 point guard in history now. It is more than enough to teach Kobe and Nash, two rookies. Oh yes, and forgot about Fisher. What the Lakers gained in the draft this year and moo, Kobe Bryant, Fisher. Kobe and Fisher offseason someone knows. And moo was also mentored in the offseason. It's just that because Enmu went to participate in the national team, and then some commercial things delayed his training, the instructor arranged by the Lakers for Enmu has not been in place. This time back in Los Angeles, Enmu's training will also begin. The next day, Enmu, Kobe, Nash, and Fisher arrived at the training hall. In the training hall, the magician is having a pleasant exchange with a player. At a glance, he is also a superstar in the history of the Lakers. Heavenly go Abdul-Jabbar. Yo yo yo, finally waiting for you. After the magician saw Enmu, he came up with a smile and gave Enmu a high five. That's my partner on the inside next season. Kareem, have you seen this year's Olympics? It was this little guy who led the team to overturn our dream third team. Tiango stepped forward and also gave Enmu a high five. Excellent static talent. And, next, it's up to me to teach you the offensive technique. Trust me, after this offseason, you'll be the best center. Enmu smiled and said, of course I believe it. Kareem, you are the NBA all-time scoring champion. Even before Enmu crossed over, Abdul-Jabbar's all-time scoring throne was sitting steadily. This is the future of our Lakers. The magician said, pointing to the rookies in front of him. Then, he looked at Nash and spread his hands. Oh, and a little rookie with the Clippers. But it's okay, maybe in a few years, you'll become a Laker. Nash smiled too. These past days, Nash has often said something like this to his magician. I've watched Magic and Skyhook play ball since I was a kid, and I'm a Lakers fan. The Lakers Showtime period is the most powerful team in NBA history. Although the Clippers jersey is worn on my body, my heart is still the heart of the Lakers. If nothing else, this attitude is very good. Several people exchanged pleasantries for a while, and then directly began training. Abdul-Jabbar's long-distance hook is still too advanced for Enmu. What he has to learn now is to master all kinds of steps, when there are enough opportunities through the footwork, using hooks to score the ball. If you want to learn this step, it is impossible for an ordinary center to be in 2 years. All kinds of steps, whether left or right, must not have the slightest stuttering and must be connected to the hook hand. Hooks are also divided into left-handed hooks and right-handed hooks. More subtle points are sideboard hooks, positive board hooks, and no board hooks. But fortunately, Enmu has the blessing of wild Tyrannosaurus. The first training session made Abdul-Jabbar shine, claiming that Enmu is an absolute genius. From mid-September to mid-October, for a whole month, the four of them completely became rats in the training hall. Sometimes I even sleep directly in the training gym. Their mentors are magicians and Tingo-Jabbar. The #1 point guard in history, the top of the NBA's all-time scoring list. Such training resources must be cherished. In mid-October, the special training officially ended. Because the Lakers preseason training camp is about to start. Episode 90, I'm my dad's dad. 2 sports cars, speeding down the roads of Los Angeles. Enmu steadily stuck Kobe behind him. Kobe Bryant, behind Enmu, could not catch up, and could only helplessly press his horn. After the two played for a while, Enmu took the initiative to reduce his speed. On the wide roads of Los Angeles, AMU and Kobe Bryant drove in parallel. And, you guy is so talented. I just got my driver's license a few days ago, and now I can drive the car like this. It's been almost 2 years since I got my driver's license, and I still can't compare to you. Just now, the two stalemated for a full 10 minutes. Kobe, who has a strong desire to win or lose, looked for several opportunities to suppress Enmu behind him, but could not find a way. After just 10 minutes of suppression, Kobe is now obedient to Enmu. He knew that if it weren't for Enmu's initiative to slow down, he would still be steadily suppressed by Enmu now. It may have been all the way to the Lakers training gym, and he couldn't finish overtaking. After hearing Kobe's words, Enmu said loudly with a smile, Kobe, it's not that I have talent, but you are too dish. Bryant. Kobe can now take the initiative to filter out Enmu's mocking words, which is a skill he has developed after months of mockery. To be honest, the current Kobe can withstand Enmu's ridicule. In this way, if 10 years later, Kobe Bryant, who was paranoid to the extreme in 2006, Enmu may explode Kobe's mocking mentality and drive against the wall, you say, What will be the situation on the first day of today's training camp? What will happen to the team's training hall? Kobe is very much looking forward to the start of the new season. Although he has been training with the Magic for an entire offseason, the venue where they train is not the Lakers training hall. Because the Lakers training hall was too far away, Kobe Bryant rented a training hall in downtown Los Angeles. Until now, he has not been to the Lakers training gym. In the NBA, a team's training hall and playing field are not the same place. When the Staples Center is not hosting NBA games, it also hosts ice hockey games and various commercial performances. The Lakers training hall is shared with the training hall of the Los Angeles Kings ice hockey team. And Mu and Kobe parked the sports car in the parking lot. The two picked up their backpacks and walked towards the training hall. See? It's no different than when you try out with other teams. And Mu pointed to the training hall and said to Kobe. After entering the training hall, you can see that there are 4 basketball courts in full court. At the same time, on the wall is also hung the champion flag of the Lakers, as well as the big log 0. Hey, welcome our 2 rookies. Head coach Silver Fox Del Harris came to Anmu and Kobe and said, the magician also came early today. Walked by and said hello to Anmu and Kobe. The other players of the Lakers have also come to the side of Anmu and Kobe Bryant, and they all know that Anmu is the future star of the Lakers. So the attitude towards Anmu is very good. Okay, let's get acquainted with each other for half an hour, and after half an hour, we start formal training. After Harris finished speaking, he walked towards the head coach's office. In the distance, 2 stocky players were walking towards Anmu. Hey, Ann. Remember me? Ben Wallace said to Anmu. After Anmu saw Wallace, a trace of surprise appeared in his eyes. Remember, in the warm-up game between the Celestial Empire and the Lakers, I remember I blocked. You're a couple of Big Ben laughing and saying, yes, man, I still remember your cap. At the same time, another short player beside him also stretched out his hand towards Anmu. And, we will be inside partners in the future. This is exactly what the team traded for Van Exel, for Knicks power forward Jordan, the old oak Charles Oakley. Ben, I didn't expect you to be left behind. Anmu unleashed his kindness to Big Ben. I was very impressed with you in that warm-up game. Big Ben scratched his head and said, are you scared by my possession? At that time, in the warm-up game, the Lakers positioned Big Ben as a small forward. At that time, Big Ben dribbled the ball directly off the touchline several times. Anmu laughed and said, Ben, the outside line is not suitable for you, or the fight on the inside is more suitable for you. Look at the muscles of Big Ben's whole body, it is simply carved out of a mold with Oakley. Oakley is the power forward position, and Big Ben should also play inside. Big Ben nodded and said, I also think that the inner line is more suitable for me. After a few people chatted for a while, the team's training also started normally. This year, the Lakers aren't as big in the offseason market as the Clippers. But the team's roster has also been tinkered with. In addition to signing Ben Wallace, the undrafted pick in 1996. The Lakers also signed the Hornets shooter on free agency, and the starting shooting guard of the Dale Curry Lakers Showtime era is back. Byron Scott, who is 191 centimeters tall, became a 1-year contract with the Lakers. Obviously, he also wants to watch the young people on the team grow up with the magicians. This season, unsurprisingly, will be the final year for Magic and Byron Scott. These 2 career partners were at their peak. Now that they are old, they have all returned to the Lakers and contributed to the Lakers' training of rookies. In general, the relationship between the management of the Lakers and the superstars of the team history is very good. This is clearly distinguished from the Celts. Larry Bird wanted to join the Celtics management after retiring, but was directly rejected by the Celtics management. The last angry Larry Bird sprayed directly in front of the media. Celtics superstar Bill Russell hasn't been back to Boston since retiring. Because, when Bill Russell took the Celtics to 8 consecutive championships, he was even thrown by extreme fans into his house and thit. In this way, compared to the Boston Celtics, it is actually more human for the Purple and Gold Army. On the first day of training camp, everyone was looking for form. The next day was media day. Anmu was wearing the number 0 shirt and Kobe, and Fisher took a rookie makeup photo. Subsequently, he and the Lakers' new season starter took the starting lineup makeup photo. Kobe was very envious when he watched Anmu take the set makeup photo. But he knows that he still can't reach the starting position. All he can do is train hard and find his chance to play from the coach. He believes that it won't take long for him to play the starter. During the shooting of the set photo, Lakers general manager Jerry West is also being interviewed by the media. Manager West, what do you think Anmu's future holds? West replied, Anmu has a very bright future and we have always thought he can be a great star like Abdul-Jabbar. His performance in the Olympics, I'm sure you've all seen it too. He beat Shaquille O'Neal, David Robinson in the Olympics, and only Ewing didn't play against him among the 4 centers. It's a pretty amazing guy, and I think he's going to be the best contender for the best rookie in the new season. The reporter continued to ask, best rookie? Don't you think Duncan can't put him in his way? West spread his hands and said, if you don't watch the Olympics, I think Tim Duncan may be able to put some pressure on Enmu. But when you watch the Olympics, I don't think it's a problem at all. This journalist, at first glance, is a staunch Duncan. He continued, I think Tim Duncan will still put pressure on Enmu. West shrugged. The new season opener is the Lakers versus Celtics. This journalist friend, we might as well make a bet. The reporter wondered, Mr. General Manager, how do you bet with me? West said, if Enmu's numbers are better than Duncan in the opener, and the Lakers have won the opener, I hope you will say in future reports that Enmu is the first rookie in 1996. If the Lakers lose, then I will personally admit in public that the Celtics are a better team than the Lakers in any period. After hearing West's bet with the reporter, many people were secretly shocked. West's bet is not only about West personally, but also about the historical feud between the Lakers and the Celtics. I have to say that West is just betting against a reporter, and the bet is a bit big. Without thinking at all, the reporter agreed to West's bet. If he loses, it will only admit that Enmu is the best in the class of 1996. But if he wins, then fans across the United States will remember that he made West admit that the Lakers are not as good as the Celtics. At that time, wasn't it time to become famous? At this time, the Lakers set photo shooting has also been completed. The revived magician was interviewed by reporters. Erwin, what do you think are the goals of the Lakers for the new season? Do you place more emphasis on developing rookies or getting good results? The magician thought carefully and replied, the Lakers are a team with a long history. We have a good ability to develop rookies, and the Lakers are also a very strong team this season. Have you heard a phrase? Children make choices, adults all want. The magician smiled and said the words he heard from Enmu. We have to develop rookies, and at the same time, we want the team to play well. We all agree on the team that the Lakers can definitely make the playoffs next season. The magician said with great certainty. At the same time, Enmu, who is on the other side, is also being interviewed by reporters about the goals of the new season. Enmu and Maji said the same thing. Through the various meetings of the team and the strength of the current squad, both West and Silver Fox Harris think that the team can make the playoffs in the new season. Our goal for the new season is playoffs. Enmu said very definitely. The reporter asked, what do you expect from the NBA when you are about to enter the NBA? Scared? Enmu glanced at the reporter. Scared? Sorry, I don't even know how to write the word scared. Before playing in the NBA, I had already defeated the United States in FIBA games and won a gold medal belonging to the Celestial Empire team. I played on the Dream Team equivalent to the NBA All-Star team. Can I still be afraid of ordinary NBA teams? Enmu's tone was very relaxed. The reporter's questions came one after another. Another person asked, in the opener against Tim Duncan, do you think you can outperform Tim Duncan? Enmu sighed helplessly, I really regret not bringing my Olympic gold medal today. Just now you asked, will I be afraid of facing the new NBA season? I don't think I have any fear, it should be my opponents who should be afraid. After hearing Enmu's words, the reporters were speechless. If it was Marcus Camby who said this, then the next thing journalists have to do is hype it up in the article. Rendering Marcus Camby looks down on Tim Duncan, raising the conflict between the two to the maximum. However, if it was Enmu who said this, then everything was different. First of all, in the NCAA finals, Enmu has already defeated Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan can now be counted as Enmu's subordinate defeated. Secondly, Tim Duncan played a game against Dream 3 in the offseason, and he played well, cutting 20+ and even almost leading his team to victory over Dream 3. However, Enmu faced the all-out American team at the Olympics and defeated the American team twice in a row. At the same time, the data won by Enmu is a terrifying triple-double data of 60 plus 20 plus 10. You say Duncan won 20+? In the eyes of others, it is powerful. But in Enmu's eyes, everything was different. 20 points? Facing the 20 points cut by the Dream 3 team? I'm sorry, but when I faced the Dream 3 team, it only took 6.5 minutes to cut down 24 points. Enmu can even stand on the technical table, point to the players below him, and say a word. I'm not targeting anyone, I just want to say that everyone here is rubbish. At the end, Enmu pointed to the number 0 shirt he was wearing. I just want to say that as long as I play, I want to see the score of everyone who is opposite me become 0 points. That's why I chose number 0. In the new season, under my town guard, the Lakers' penalty area will become a no-fly zone. Enmu's speech on Media Day today is too hot. Even if it was replaced by Michael Jordan back then, Jordan did not dare to say this. However, Enmu has such qualifications. It is because he defeated the United States in this year's Olympics and Atlanta Olympics in a dignified manner. Many reporters know that Enmu's speech is arrogant. They also know that Enmu's arrogance has absolute capital. After the media interview, Kobe threw a bottle of water to Enmu. "Yes, I really envy you." Kobe took a sip of water and said, "In the face of the reporter's interview, I can only tremble and say that I will do myself well in the new season. All I can say is that I will train hard to ensure that I become a stable rotation for the Lakers. Even journalists are more interested in my father's topic. After all, I am one of the few second-generation balls in the NBA." Kobe looked at Enmu again. "Look at you again, you can say such powerful words in front of the media." Oh. Bryant felt hurt. Enmu patted Kobe on the shoulder. "Actually, it's very simple if you want to say this. There is only one thing to be done." Kobe looked at Enmu's held-up finger and asked, "What's the matter?" Enmu said, "Take your own Olympic men's basketball gold medal, and then you can say whatever you want." Kobe, listening to a seat is like listening to a seat. If I can get gold, will I still be the 13th pick? If I can win the gold medal, I will still play as a substitute in the Lakers? If I can get the gold medal, your current position will be mine. Enmu smiled and patted Kobe Bryant's shoulder. "Young man, don't be depressed, don't be discouraged. The future, it's yours." After being encouraged by Enmu, Kobe regained confidence in life. "One day, I hope I won't be called Joe's son. I hope in a few years, someone else can say that I am Joe's father." Enmu? "Kobe, is there something wrong with this idea of yours? Kobe Bryant wants to beach in Fayu in the 90s? After hearing Enmu's words, he also seemed to realize his language disease. "Blah blah blah. I want people to point to my father and say, Joe is Kobe's dad."